Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. As you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about leverage today. Now, when most people talk about leverage, they're talking about usually real estate. But for my purposes, when I think of leverage, here's a definition I want you to think about. The reason to leverage everything. You can achieve a lot more with less energy and less time than if you don't. Use each of the following things that we're going to discuss to grow each one. What do I mean? Well, the first one we're going to talk about is leveraging your property or business. This is the most common, but I'm not talking about debt to market value leverage. That's not what I'm talking about. As an example, if you have a property that has some cash flow or a business that has cash flow, use that cash flow to pay other debts off. That's using leverage. Or you can take the cash flow and invest it. That is a form of leverage. Or you can buy the dip. Now, I borrowed that phrase. That phrase is usually used for stock market buying. But let's say, like today, if you went out and bought a house, you're going to pay 6 or 7% interest, as of the filming of this anyway. So what if in 2 or 3 years, the market goes back to where you can get a mortgage for 2 or 3%? Go out and refi. Buy the dip in the interest rate. And you can do that with businesses or with property. How about cash? You could leverage cash. You could put it into real estate. For $20,000 in cash, you can own, maintain, and use a $100,000 property. That's leverage. That's the classic example of leverage. Again, if you put your cash in any investment and the investment goes up, that's leverage. You're using what you have to get more. Now, if you just want to keep your cash, I did a video, I think I did it, if not, it's in the works, of 5 risk-free investments. CDs is one of them. And right now, the interest rates on CDs are around 5%. That's a huge jump from a bank savings account that'll pay you a couple of percent, if you're lucky. How about leveraging your time? A lot of people don't think that. But we have a limited amount of time to do anything. So you need to leverage your time the best you can. One example would be to hire somebody. Now, most of us can't afford to do that, but what if you had 3 or 4 properties and each one of them was spitting off some cash flow, and you took that cash and paid for a personal assistant? The personal assistant can take a lot of the responsibility off of you, and now you've got the opportunity to do more. That is leverage. Another way to leverage your time is to figure out when you have the most energy in the day. I have the most energy in the day in the morning, so I try to get as much done before noon as I can, because I'm getting the most out of my time during that time. Another way to leverage the time that you have is by concentrating on your health and exercise. Now, that doesn't sound like leveraging your time, but it is. If you've got a limited amount of time each day and you can squeeze in 30 minutes or an hour a day, you're going to add on more time to the end of your life. And you're going to be healthy and feel a lot better and have a lot more energy to accomplish a lot more. So try to work those in. A lot of people do one or the other, but they don't do both. Try to leverage your time. If you just did these 3 things, you could accomplish 2 or 3 times what you're doing right now in the same amount of time. You could leverage your credit. Now, you could argue that credit itself is leverage. just by having a good credit rating, I can get $10, $20, $30,000 available credit to me. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about leveraging what you already have. As an example, if you've got personal credit cards, go get some business ones. Because they won't do a hard pull, the credit limits will be a lot higher, and it won't show up on your credit bureau. Use leverage. And to get the spend on a business credit card, you can put all of your spend on those and clean up your balances on your regular credit card in a couple of months. That's leverage. You're increasing your credit rating, you're increasing the amount of leverage or the amount of credit you have to use, and you're getting more spend on your business credit card. It's a win-win. And the reason you want to leverage that to get a better credit rating is because a better credit rating equals better deals. You get lower interest rates on mortgages. You get lower down payment on apartments. You get lower insurance rates on your car and your house. All the way around. People look at your credit rating, and if it's good, you get the best deal. And the last one is one people don't hardly ever think about. But what if you could leverage your talent and ability? One of the saddest things I have ever seen is somebody that has an ability to sing or play an instrument or play sports, and they end up sacking groceries at a grocery store. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not using their ability. They're not leveraging what they have. And even if, you don't make it big and you don't do anything with it, at least leverage it and use it while you can, because it will help you to grow as a person. The more talent and ability that you can leverage out of yourself to help society, the more society will help you by paying you. So leverage your time and ability. If you've got a talent or an ability that you're not using, shame on you. Get out there and go use it, even if it's for free. If you are a very good piano player, go play the piano somewhere. Go teach at a school. Give private lessons, but leverage your ability. Don't let it just sit there. And if you have, and I've told several people this, if you have a bubbly personality, which I do not, but I wish I did, but if you have a bubbly personality, make videos. There are video YouTubers out there that make millions of dollars a year. And their content is no different than anybody else's, but they have personality. That is an advantage. That's a talent. Use it. But anyway, I wanted to kind of expand your knowledge on leverage. When you say leverage, most people yawn and they think about real estate, and that's about all they think about. You can leverage anything in your life. As I said at the beginning, the definition of leverage is to achieve more with less. If you can leverage a piece of real estate with $20,000, then you need to learn to save $20,000 to go leverage that. But once you leverage it, how you use that money, the cash flow from the property, now you can do investments. So your $20,000 not only leverages the real estate, but it leverages what you do with the cash flow from that real estate. You could pay off debts. You could save for another property. You could invest it. You could save it. But whatever you do with it, you should leverage it. And you should do that with every one of these. You could use the leverage on each of these that I talked about to another category. As an example, in our example with the property. What if you took the cash flow from that property and you saved it? That's leveraging your cash. Then you save the cash and you invest a certain amount of that each month. Again, you're leveraging. And then after you save a certain amount, you go buy another property. You're leveraging that. Each time you do that, you are also leveraging time because your loan is for, as an example, a 30-year loan. So you're leveraging time by taking the cash and building your wealth. And that's the whole key about it. You need to learn to leverage your time. If you also took some of the cash as you were paying down debts, which would include credit cards, now you're increasing your credit rating and your ability to go get more credit cards, personal and business. So just by doing one thing and going all the way down through this, you're leveraging just about everything. And if your talent or ability is construction or plumbing or electrical or anything to do with home building and maintenance, you could leverage that even more because you could go buy fixer-upper properties. For that $20,000, you might be able to get a $150,000 or $200,000 property that's a really bad shape. And go in there, leverage your time, leverage your ability, leverage your cash, leverage your credit, build that thing back so you can rent it. Then you're leveraging that. So now from that same $20,000, you've leveraged it into a $200,000 property that's generating cash flow that's able to leverage all the other categories we talked about. It's not about doing one or the other. It's about doing them all in unison. And when you do that, then you will achieve that point where you can accomplish a lot more with a lot less time and energy on your part. Use other people's time, other people's money, other people's talents and abilities, and if you do all of that, I guarantee you, you will achieve a lot more in the same amount of time with a whole lot less effort or energy from your part. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about. You guys have a great day, a great week, happy investing, and leverage everything.